I feel like I'm gonna regret this if I don't do this now. Maybe this won't ever go anywhere. This is the start of my new Nissan 240SX coupe drift car build. Guess I'll do a quick walk around a little before, because like I said, probably gonna be like, man, I've built a lot of drift cars over the years, and I know that this one's probably gonna be pretty cool. I don't know, just be ahead of it. Like I said, I might never use this, but in the event that I wish that I did do it, coupe, I don't know the year. It has a tire. Some rust, I can fix. Here. Nothing too major. I essentially got this car for free through friends. Shout out Cody Moomaw. But yeah, it's a factory, obviously factory slick top. I don't even know the year. I should probably figure that out. Gonna go through and ideally I'm gonna fix everything. I have about 5 months. Today is October 17th, I think, and this is the starting point. Front floor is pretty clean. Gonna get in here and vacuum all this stuff out. Gonna get this harness out of here, but floors are very, very, very clean. This one is extremely straight, minimal rust. I mean, normal stuff. This thing has been sitting around. You can see the rust. Overall, with how these things are, you can't really complain. I'd rather have a car that's rusty and just fix the rust than to have a car that's super tweaked and bent from years of drifting, and there aren't very many of these left that have been smashed and crashed. And the car that I have now that will actually be the donor of the whole drivetrain to this car has been through some pretty painful events in the last just the year that I've had it, bro. You can't really be too mad about mostly everything about this car. I mean, it's a 35-year-old car at this point, so got all the force plug on it. Try and get everything factory, paint the bag. Relatively nice car. It's clean. Get us fresh build with everything touched by me. I know I haven't had a car where I've started with a shell, so it's gonna be somewhat interesting. But yeah, that's about it. Maybe all right. Here's my S13. Brushing
interior for the cage, which is a Cage Kids ultra tight. It's getting.
What are you doing? Yep. Look at this. Did you see how tight this fits?
Look at the laser etching, multi-notch for the tubes. Perfect.
Yeah, you can start welding that shit up.
I know. I'm gonna tack this whole thing together.
This is gonna add about 1,000 pounds to your car.
No, it won't. I'm gonna tack all this together and then we're gonna get it into there. You see these boxes?
Look at this. Look at that base plate.
Oh, that looks really nice.
Look at these base plates.
Those look really nice.
Strut tower.
Base plate.
Yeah, look at that. Does it get better than that?
Looks pretty good.
So those are
You gonna weld that in there solid?
No.
Yes.
He'll probably just throw a couple tacks.
I think I'm just gonna tack the whole cage in. It's really just for aesthetic.
Well, you better be careful because you're putting this big plate, you're attaching this big ass plate to a piece of thin ass sheet metal.
Yep.
So you're gonna have to be careful. You're not burning through the floor.
Oh yeah, I know. All the sound deadening.
Because the amount of heat it's gonna take to melt that plate is gonna be considerably more.
Everything's stripped though. Sound deadening removed where it needs to be removed.
We have started prepping the engine bay to fix the rust here, here,
A little bit right there.
getting all the seam sealer out of it to be stitch welded. There's the cage kit. All this needs to be re-welded together.
It's actually been ripped. So weld all this up.
Here, get all this seam sealer out.
And stitch weld everything. But
Not too bad. Wheel wells. That needs to be fixed.
and that everything on the bottom of the car is really solid and clean. You can tell. But we're gonna start getting that fitted in here.
Alright. So I'm putting the main loop together for the S13. So far I've got everything tacked up. Well, actually more than tacked. This side's been basically finished welded.
Not perfect, I'm not a pro. Still kind of dialing in the settings.
Got it in the car, got it fitted, so it section does fit. You can get it in and out of the car how it is. Still need to cut or trim the tube that goes here for harness bar. Picked the higher one because I'm a short guy, so my seat will probably be up decently high. But about to weld the fronts of this and then hopefully get it back in the car somewhat relatively soon. But it fits great. Really easy to put together. Get the car real quick. Got a lot of this stuff prepped.
Midnight Club.
Got the little battery tray cut out. Got this all prepped. These are all prepped and lined up. Got this all prepped. The boxes are tacked in right now. Gonna be finish welded probably before I bring actual like rear part of the cage in. Yeah, smooth so far. Don't mind that. This stuff is so thin to be so careful. Blew a hole through right there. All right, we're here. We're doing this roll cage on this race car. I got the rear basically fully welded. I think I have an update video of this. The welds aren't good. Make fun of me. Welder's not great, but they're stuck together. I got everything fitted up. Gussets tacked in. Have gussets, top bar. Everything is so tight. And I'm gonna probably try and clamp this up against. But FIA bars are in. And basically gonna try and weld out everything that I can in here. And then we're gonna drop it through the floor, weld the top here, which isn't a lot, honestly, to weld the tops. It's literally just like 6 welds. And then push it back up and in, and then finish out doing the door bars and welding it to the chassis. And I guess on other things, patch panel in here. Got all this prepped for stitch weld. Got some stuff I want to clean up over here, but pretty good. I think Cody's gonna go get some tools and pull the rear subframe. Tools, darts. And then we're just gonna keep cranking on this thing. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, got a whole lot of this welded. And don't mind amateurness of my welds. This is a race car. Probably clean up a bunch of stuff, but got the cage dropped to the floor. I actually still have all this tacked on, but I think this is about as far forward as I'm gonna get it. But pretty happy with it. And we're gonna get to welding here and here and everything. And start. That way I can get this back up. Put the dash bar back in. Get the lower door bars welded in. We'll finish up the door bars. And then start working on the anti-intrusion bars. Hell yeah. Stoked. Cage kits is the jam. I literally cannot wait to roll this car over because I'm gonna be so safe. And like hell, I might be able to roll it over and it'll still be good. So, shout out Cage Kits. I'm pumped. Hey, yo. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go. update here. So, been working on this thing a lot recently, luckily. I got the core support, or lower radiator support, welded back on. Still need to fix a crack here, I just noticed, but welded. This thing's actually on here, for real. Metal's a pain to weld. Doesn't fit perfect. Did some testing on the welder. Doing some stitch welding here. Need to cut this out still. And rust proof it and put a piece in right here. Another patch piece in right there. Need to stitch weld that, stitch weld that. Did some more over there. Welder started to act up. I think it might need to be cleaned a little bit more. Got this piece tacked in. Rusty, so just been blowing through it. We got the quarter panel cut out. As you can tell, super nice quarter cut. Got everything hammered up into place. Really just need to seam seal it. And probably put a couple tacks there, but rust hole here I need to fix still. Rust hole here I need to fix still. But from a distance, quarter panel looks very clean, very straight, tons of clearance. Roll cage has been welded in. It's basically done. There's a few things that I want to go over, check over, but I mean, honestly, I think it didn't go too terrible. I'm not a phenomenal welder. I weld every day, and I also have this little tiny baby welder. So old, there's NASCAR licensing on it, and even a 3-year warranty. I don't know even what size this is. I guess a 135, I would assume. Trying to burn this cage in with that welder. It's not, you know, phenomenal. It's not pretty. It's not like it's TIG welded, but the welds are solid. It's funny because I tried out like anti-splatter stuff, and it made the splatter worse. So I'm trying to figure out how that works. Full NASCAR style door bars or ladder bars, whatever. FIA bars, anti-intrusion bars. Nissan firewall metal that's horrible. Welded into the strut towers. I thought that this cage kit came with a tube for between the struts. I guess it doesn't. So I had that piece of pipe laying around from something else. It's not like gnarly, I forget what type of pipe this is. It's not gnarly stuff like this. It's definitely considerably softer and thinner, but something between it to, I mean, I can't imagine that the strut towers would ever get bent with how gnarly this cage is, but just for peace of mind, I was like, yeah, I might as well throw that in. Yeah, there's some camera shots of some nice welds. Yeah, everything's tied into the floors. I mean, this stuff, I've never put in a cage like this ever in my life, and it went real quick, and honestly went about as good as I hoped that it would, so that's a bonus. Full dash bar, everything. Gonna add some braces in here. Heat maker, they make a brace for this strut tower that ties it into the corner of the car here, so I'm probably either gonna try and replicate that on my own because I have some extra pipe, might as well. If not, might hit up Luke and see if we can get the braces for that. Still need to weld these holes. Or, you know, cut them out and put a patch in them. Frame rail's got a couple holes in them. Still got some fiberglass. I'm actually going to pick up a hood right now for this thing. Origin Type 2 hood.
Midnight Club.
I got a bunch of my body kit, body worked. Isaac helped out with that. Over the off season, I got a combat eye for that side, so I'm switching sides. I had a combat eye on the hatch on this side. I'm switching it to a real Origin combat eye to the driver's side. Still need to get some pieces for the back. I have overs for it, Type 3 Origin overs. I have still my Type 3 front fenders. I have a D-Max Type 3 skirts and front bumper, and then I just need a D-Max Type 3 rear bumper. Coming along. definitely the car, and I have to have it ready by the, you know, basically the end of March at the very latest. Getting aggressive. Got an update on the S13. Since I made one of these videos last, I'm not sure, but we've done some stuff. First of all, filled in a lot of these holes on the aprons. Left the ones with the bolt holes just in case for the future. Or, you know, when I put the car together if I need them. I now have core support. Core support is actually in really good shape. Welded on. Not great, but even more welds than factory. This core support had this cut out, like very haggard. Luckily, pulled these pieces off, and I'm missing a section here, but honestly, doesn't matter. No. And this has been welded on. Same over here. Nothing too crazy. I mean, basic welds. So yeah, core support's on. Just welded the strut towers. This side had no rust. This side had a tiny bit right here, which has been patched. Done a great job. At the end of the day, doesn't really matter a lot. No, this car's gonna be driven. There's a rust spot here, so we patched in a piece there. And this has all been stitch welded, obviously. Also have the repair going on down here. Got most of that ground down. And then the most recent addition was I welded in these corner supports. Should help a lot with keeping the strut towers stiff. And, you know, I guess in the event of a hit or something, to help. Made those with the extra tubing from the cage kits. Here's the other side. Still need to get the bottoms of them. But figured a good time while this is all cooling down. There's actually a factory hole there that wasn't burned through. Probably will end up blowing it up. I like the look of them too. This looks, I don't know, murder sporty thing. Whoops, that's not what we're looking for. You guys coming along, hopefully get the day prepped and possibly sealed this weekend. Very happy about the way this thing's coming together. Sparing no expense on this car. So fenders have been body worked. I now have a Type 2 hood. Bumper's been fixed and somewhat body worked. Still need to finish it up. A lot of this stuff is like, you know, I get it about 75% there or 80% there, and then it just takes the last little bit to finish it up. But yeah, today is February 21st. I mean, we're almost done welding on this thing, which hopes to be done welding because it's just getting, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. Building cars is a lot of work, especially building them, I guess what you could say at this caliber where there's tons and tons of custom stuff going on. And I'm an idiot. I'm 23. I just turned 23. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going off of what I've seen other people do, going off what I like, where my standards are at. Obviously, they're not very high, but this will still, no matter what, be the nicest car I've ever built. Hopefully, it'll last me a while. I mean, I'm learning literally so much with this stuff. Oh, here we are. The engine room prepping is done. Got it all cleaned up. Wiped down with lacquer thinner. I think that's how you pronounce it. Lacquer thinner. That stuff. Wiped it down. Smells really bad in here. My head's starting to hurt. We're ready for some sealer. Everything's been scuffed. I hammered that a little bit for the hell of it. I mean, can't beat it, right? You can't beat it. And we're gonna get some paint or some sealer on this thing hopefully tonight. And hopefully some paint on it later this week. Got the bay sealed in white so that our colors can cover well. Looking good. We're about to start getting crazy with it. There it is though. Got a nice setup.
Go ahead and drink that. Cracking open a cold one with the boys.
Better not be cold. You may be wondering what color this is, and we'll never tell you.
Black, black, black.
Black. If I don't say it, I'll pass out.
Exciting. A lot of this will be red, and these flames will be silver. And anywhere else that's been masked off. Still a lot of white back here. Needs to get covered and need to get some of that evened out. I think we skipped
Midnight Club.
recording it, but pretty happy with it so far. Should last a long time, I hope. No, I missed filming some parts, but this isn't a tutorial. So, you know, sorry. water upstairs. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I don't know, it's funny. Went ahead with some lace we got from Goodwill for $6. This thing is ready. What the hell? Just pulled the engine out. Subframe has been pulled out. It's just sitting under there, but it is fully out. And this car is now sitting on the ground. We pulled the fuel tank out of the hatch and put it in the coupe because the one in this car was rusty. Look at what the car's doing right now. We put the rear subframe in, so that is fully in and bolted. And we got a ton of stuff torn apart right now. Gonna need to pull the dash out and then all the wiring. Got the engine out, got the water pump replaced, because mine was literally junk. And it was just spitting everywhere. Need to degrease the front of this motor. Got the intercooler taken apart. Got a whole lot of that. Pretty crazy how this thing's literally flying in the air because we got the whole subframe in the rear. So there's no weight, and it's literally sitting on these jack stands like that, which is good because we're gonna drop the motor onto the subframe and literally just slide it under here and then pull the car down and bolt it in. First I gotta get everything cleaned and get everything that I need from the bay into the car. I've kind of been getting lost away putting this car together. It's got the brakes hooked up in the rear, got the cables all hooked up with the clips and everything. It's a little mess in here obviously. B-knuckle installed on this side with a fresh brake line. Stance coilovers. Pretty basic setup. Engine is in. Just sitting in here right now. Haven't pulled the wiring over yet because honestly I'm dreading it. And I also need to paint the cage. Pretty sick. I have an SR into this car. I have not installed the knuckles on this side yet, but about to do that now. It's gonna be a little bit more of a pain. I got my steering column in, picture hole cut out for the CD. Nice clean cut. We have a painted roll kit. Did that take years off my life? Absolutely. I might possibly die from that later. But it's painted a nice silver. Wanted something really clean, something easy to touch up. Actually did it surprisingly super well. It was like either this or white. We were originally thinking about doing pink, but because of how we're gonna paint the cars, we think that the pink is gonna clash pretty hard. Silver, I'm actually super stoked about it. This is what I used, Rust-Oleum Ultra Cover Paint and Primer. I scuffed a bunch of this with a Scotch-Brite, thinking that I needed to prep it. I guess you don't need to prep when you use this stuff. Like at all, just clean it. Only prepped about half of it, and the rest of it stuck fine. I literally did like a coat in most places and 2 coats in the heavy wear areas, and I think it's gonna work pretty good. Moving on, we have the car on the ground right now. Type 3 rears, Type 3 fronts, D-Max skirts, D-Max bumper, Origin Type 2 hood, Rick's GT grill, Origin Combat Eye. We pulled the windshield out, obviously. I wanted to pull this out to paint the cage. I think that's basically it. Gonna wait for this to flash off, and then we'll start unmasking it and see how bad of a job I did. But yeah, pretty stoked. probably put it up here. Here, put this over there. Switcheroo. That's gotta be good for the engine. Holy hell, I have an update. I forgot to record so much. I moved this rat's nest of room. Place it with all stock stuff. Cody's parts car. Shout out Cody. I got factory power steering reservoir. I'm super pumped about it. Got my whole power steering setup hooked up. Wiring has been ran. It's not all tied up yet. Still need to tie it up in the fenders and whatever. But I originally was gonna try and tuck it all in my car, but honestly, the more I thought about it, like, I don't need it to be pretty. I want it to be serviceable, and factory ran I think would be the best for it. Apparently it's all hooked up. I just fitted up the last couple fuel lines. Still need to mount this. Wires running. I have a bulkhead coming in tomorrow. I'm gonna tie in somewhere, and then obviously I'll put all this up somewhere really nice. Look at least as good as it can. Clean all that up. The blower motor and the heater core. That's gonna be cleaning up the last car with the little thingy. Been checking over wiring, finalizing wiring. We got a little fuse block thingy for gauges and a few other things, like my fuel pump. Everything runs off the key. I've got everything set up off the key. A couple of jumpers off of the ignition key, and everything's mostly working so far. Some stuff going on back here. Got my relay hooked up. Need to clean it up. Battery is now located in the back versus in this car it was located behind the passenger seat, which was like a real pain. So yeah, pretty happy with that. I ordered a bunch of parts yesterday. I cut my dash to fit. Still need some finalized trimming, but you know how it goes. I got these fuel lines replaced, so all the rubber lines are new, or at least not original. I got a wastegate from JB. Shout out JB. It's on the way. I need to put a diaphragm in it. Nothing major. Super excited about that because I had a 2-bolt wastegate, and we're switching it to V-band, so obviously more reliability. And then I also need to change the setup for it to be a down dump rather than an up dump, because that was goofy originally. Everything basically routed in the bay how I want it. Is it gorgeous? Absolutely not. Is it going to be serviceable and hopefully reliable? Dear God, it better be, or I am going to kill myself. Still have a few other things I need to hook up. I need to put the whole exhaust on. That's not a big deal at all. I just fired the car for the first time, so it does run. And yeah, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. I got about 3 weeks to have this car like painted and running and ripping and everything, so exciting stuff. I guess I'll make an update video. Been lacking on these, I guess, for a few days because I've been literally just working non-stop. Today is May 20 or 3rd, 29th or 30th or something. Here's the car. We're at my dad's shop now. The dent shop, doing the body work on it. We are currently getting the roof cut down. This is an original slick top car. It's actually pretty funny. You can see the seam where it's factory, I don't know, welded in, I guess. But yeah, the roof's getting prepped. I mean, the whole car is getting prepped for paint. We're doing some fiberglass repair on the overs. We've got the over fenders sealed, or the quarter panel sealed. Welding up some holes on the trunk from factory wing. We have the D-Max wing for it, and Isaac was doing the fiberglass for here and the over fenders. My dad volunteered to get the front of the car prepped. You're ruining my parts. You're ruining them. Okay. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're warning.
guide to for the roof. Nothing left in that can. Roof job tomorrow. Bald head. About to get going on the lace here for this. Flames on the roof. I think I can do it. Dang, with the roof piece, it looks so much sweeter. Yeah, dude. Yep. Wax and grease or with the... update. I don't think that I've made one of these basically the whole time we've painted. I know we got some clips of the car as we were painting it. Nothing too crazy. The time frame has been like super on point, I guess. We really need to get this car done, so I've been lacking on the progress videos. This thing is fresh out of the paint booth. Red and pink. Camera just can't really pick up this pink at all, which is really weird. It kind of looks like, I don't even know what color I'm thinking of, but it looks a lot darker on camera. Went this year with a fade on the car, which I think turned out great. In the back, red in the front with our, I wouldn't say signature, but always been doing a two-tone with the roof being a different color. Here's the roof, super flaked out. You can see the two different flakes in the, I guess you would say, the background layer with the lace. And then the layer with flames. Yeah, it came out nice. Blended that down and in with the red and the pink on the pillars. And the pink has a super crazy silver metallic pearl. So in a lot of the lights, you can kind of see it turn silver. You can see it right there. Can't believe that's picking it up. So yeah, the car's got a super awesome paint job now, thanks to everyone here, Isaac and my dad, slaving away on this thing, and just all the hours being here after work trying to get this thing done for Drift Indy Grand Prix Round 1. Still haven't driven this car really at all. Almost done with it. I'll take it to my work. Interior put back in. I think I have some clips of us. Copied everything, dropped it into here, which is going to be our print file, and I'm just organizing it so that it will use the least amount of material possible. Here it is, the print from my livery. It is printing. Very nice. Maybe the coolest. Cody, what are your thoughts?
Exciting.
Phil, what are your thoughts?
Team building exercise. Jesus Christ. This thing is cool looking. Do a quick little walk around.
Dude, this car looks ridiculous. Everywhere you look, there's just like more stuff to look at.
Yeah.
All right, here it is. Car is basically done. Got the livery installed last night. Absolutely ripped on it. Got the whole thing stickered up thanks to Muskie and Cody last night. Stayed super late. I think we were at the shop till like 3 a.m. But here's the car on the trailer, taking it home right now. Crazy watching this thing come to life. Everything's basically hit. Decals everywhere. Bumper, hood, sides, the trunk even. Pretty cool. Yeah, we ended up doing this all here in-house at my work. I did all the installation, the cutting, the weeding, the masking, the layering and printing. I did not make the artwork. The artwork was by Sparkle Laminate to give it a flake effect that actually, funny enough, kind of matches the flake that's in the paint job, which I think is really cool.